One of the questions I get asked so often on TikTok lives is, what was your call like? How did you know you were called to ministry? And honestly, it's not really a simple answer. It's more of a journeying answer because it developed over time. When I left school, I had no idea what it was that I wanted to do. And so I done what anyone would do in that stage and went to university to gain a business degree of all things. In one of my first weeks of university, I had an entire come to Jesus moment. I had this moment where I thought, I have made a massive mistake here. I've messed up God's plan. This is not where God wants me to be. The world's going to end. Ah, that was kind of the reaction that I was having. And yes, it was an overreaction, but it was the reaction I had nonetheless. And that's where I was in my faith journey at that point, which kind of gives you an insight into why I didn't just explore it then. But I'm a stubborn person, so I stuck with the degree. And through that degree, I kind of came to terms with the fact that God was calling me into ministry, that it wasn't right now. There was other stuff that He had for me to do first. And then from there, it would eventually make itself clear to me at some point down the line. From there on in, when I went into the world of work, I viewed everything as effectively training for ministry, training me for where God was going to place me. And so I just took every opportunity to learn, to learn, to learn, and to learn more about the church as well, to do the things that I would do as they came up, as the opportunities arose. So that's what I did. Fast forward to 10 years later, and COVID hits. And that's when I start to sense that actually God is probably going to be calling me sometime soon. That COVID was my last kind of preparation phase with God, and then He was going to ask me to take the leap, jump, and do what needs to be done at that point. So COVID kind of comes to an end, and things start to look like if I don't jump now myself, things are going to push me in that direction, whether I want to go that way or not. And that's one of the ways where I knew that God was really calling me, because everything was kind of converging on the spot of this is when you have to apply. And there was no real other option for me that was on the horizons. But shortly before the end of COVID, after all the lockdowns, after all those difficult times, I basically bit the bullet. I applied to the Church of Scotland and started the process. And as they say, the rest is history. Now, that is the short version. I've given the longer version on many other occasions on here, but there was lots of times in there where I wasn't quite as accepting of it. There was lots of trials, lots of struggles, lots of things that didn't quite work out for me because I was pushing against the grain. I was pushing against God's plan for my life, which are all signs and ways of confirming to me that this is definitely where I want to be. But I hope that explains to you what my faith journey has been like. And if you're still watching at this point, if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And again, I'll try and answer them.